Space Marine 2 has a lot of weapons that can get the job done. First thing comes to mind is the sniper with the bolt action rifle or the las, maybe even tactical with the Plasma Incinerator bolt rifle with the grenade launcher on it, if I'm not mistaken, or even just a regular Plasma Incinerator on a tactical. There are a few others I can name, but these are a few of the really, really good weapons and classes, right? I think something that can stand amongst them and even above some of these is the heavy with the heavy Plasma Incinerator. It's just as good as a Plasma Incinerator, but times that by 5. This thing rips. It's great. It's a beast. It means business. But it's really more about how you use it than just, how good it is. Because if you use this thing wrong, you won't see how good it can be, truth be told. Alright, so looking at the weapon itself, I think that the best variant's probably this first one because it has the most venting speed. This thing right here, this little stat, very important. It doesn't exactly say that it takes longer for it to overheat, but essentially, when you use this variant, you will get more shots before it overheats. Perk tree, I just went for the top one, mainly because of the extra damage on charge shots, 2 times. And this one here, we have 2 of these. While you're actually in heavy stance, the shots will charge faster. That's an easy choice for me. Pistol, just use the standard bolt pistol. I was using the plasma at first, but I find that I need a little bit of like actual proper fodder clearance with the small guys taking one shot of this pistol versus the plasma pistol kind of wasting shots sometimes. It's a little harder to aim. Use whatever you prefer. I'm just better with the bolt pistol, so I use that one. Oh, I should have probably showed you this. Same as always. It's, the same pistol on every single class for the most part. Here's the actual class perks if you want to see them. Kind of just settled on what I thought was best, but, you can mix and match however you feel. It's kind of up to you at that point. This weapon was outperforming itself before it was even relic rarity. When it was in the purple tier, it was doing just so good. But once you get it into orange, it being a relic now, the thing hits harder than post-nut clarity. And let me tell you, that's something that you want on your side. You want to be able to hit something that goddamn hard and show it you mean business. Whether it be warriors, what else are there really that will, hurt your feelings? I don't know, maybe zoanthropes? It can two-shot them with the charge shot, alright? Most of the time you do charge shot things, but I found that after I've used this for a little bit, to help conserve ammunition, you want to single shot stuff. I mean, here's a little bit of the numbers so you can see the thing hits, alright? But the ammo is probably the worst part of this thing, right? At base, it has 40, but with a perk you can have, I think it's the team perk that the heavy has, you get an additional 10 shots. So you have 50 now. Every charge shot you take is about 5. Doesn't take a math whiz to know that you don't have a lot of ammo if you only charge shot, but you also get an absolute metric fuck ton of damage out of it, right? Well, just gonna say this here, the single shots are also pretty damn good. Actually, if you want to, kind of save a little bit of ammo, like say you have a tactical on the team and he scans something, don't just let rip charge shots all the time. Sure, it'll kill the damn thing, but how much of that is overkill, right? Sometimes you have to just do a charge shot and maybe one extra normal shot. Warriors will die, without a scan, mind you. Within a scan, like against a Carnifex or the Neuranthropes, they just die so easily, so I just hardly care about them anymore, but Neurothropes are kind of where I started learning not to just charge shot them. Not only because I can't aim this thing properly sometimes, because you have to lob it, the thing. Okay, the thing shoots out such a heavy ball of plasma, it itself has a lot of weight. So you gotta kind of do some calculations and trajectories and all this noise if you want to be a little bit successful with this thing, right? But you get used to the feel of it a lot sooner than you would expect, alright? It's not that bad. It's a little weird, but it's not bad. The thing just does so much damage that it's really hard for me to, say, oh yeah, that's a bad thing, that you have to aim it properly. If you miss a shot, especially a charged one, you should feel that, and you will, trust me. These things are very crucial not to miss, alright? These shots are very important. They hit hard. That's why you only get so many of them. Going back to the whole charge shot, not charge shot, that is kind of the most important thing about this weapon is learning when to actually charge it, when to not charge it, what needs a normal shot, what needs to have a charge shot hit it in the face, whatever. It's probably one of the most important things to this weapon because you don't want to waste your very limited supply of ammunition they give you. The single shots have really good AoE on them, considering it's worth one ammo. So, one ammo has a decent amount of this AoE, right? Use it on, any of the fodder guys that are climbing each other. I mean, you see this all the time in here. You'll see me using it on groups of small fry. And just to clean up for the larger guys, just because I'm not trying to waste all my ammo. I spend plenty of time without it, right? Charge shots are really, really good, but you can't just throw them out willy-nilly or else you won't have ammo. Basically, you see a group of warriors, hopefully they're bunched up, but if they're not, they each get one charge shot, minimum, or even maximum, however you want to look at it, doesn't matter. One charge, and then continue on from there without charge shots. If you need any more actual heavy hits, go for it. If you have the ammo, who cares, right? But for the scenarios where you're kind of really running low on the thing and you have no pistol ammo, whatever, it's smart to kind of count these. If you're able to keep mental notes on which warrior has been hit however many times in a fight, it kind of starts to help you kind of keep everything, in order, keep your ducks in a row, if you will. It's a lot easier said than done, sure. And in the thick of it, how easy is it to determine all these things? Not very. But I'm gonna be honest here. This is really just like little things that I've picked up while using the thing, so I figured I'd tell you. Not drastically important that you actually manage it like that, but I've found that it's better to be cautious with your ammo than throw it away willy-nilly at nothing. I mean, it could be said that if you're using it on huge hordes, it's not throwing it away at nothing, right? But you never know what's around the next corner, so you should probably try to be a little cautious and save some of it, but not all of it, of course. I mean, you gotta use something to kill these fucking Xenos, right? So, you know, just be careful with this thing whenever you use it. The ammo is the worst part because it's like the way that this thing is balanced. This thing is kept in line because it only has so much ammo. If it had any more, oh my god, I don't even know how good it would be. If this thing had even 100 ammo, double the capacity that it has with my perk, yeah, that would be insane. It'd be too much. It would be way too powerful, way too easy. Hence why we have 40 to 50 shots overall. 50 of them if you do single. Like what? 10 if you do charged. So, pick your shots, pick when to charge. Just know, like, it's going to take time to get that feeling down, okay? It's not instant. Truth be told here, didn't even try the other variants of this weapon because when it comes to plasma stuff, the venting speed variants are so powerful that there's no reason at all to try the other ones. I would rather have, what, 2 or 3 more charge shots before the thing overheats than just getting a faster rate of fire or whatever the hell else the other variants do. It's actually very crucial to the weapon to be able to shoot that many more times, I would say. Even if it is just 1 or 2 times, thanks to a perk that Heavy has, if your weapon's about 50% overheated, it's going to do, 15% more damage. So this is a very good thing to keep in mind when you're using the weapon. Every single one of Heavy's weapons overheats, but the Plasma Incinerator hits so hard that when it starts to overheat, it kind of does really good. Sorry, my brain is starting to run in the back of my mind here, and I'm thinking, Melta doesn't overheat, you fucking idiot. So, scratch what I said. Only two of them overheat. Three if you count the pistol, right? Because he does have plasma pistol. I always tend to forget that thing, but it is there, it exists. So, you know, two out of the three weapons take advantage of this perk, right? Why wouldn't you use it? Basically, if you use the multi-melta, I guess you wouldn't need it, right? Obviously, it doesn't overheat. That's why it gets its own goddamn perk, right? But the thing about it is if the Plasma Incinerator, the heavy one here, does this much damage before the overheat procking has hit, the 50% overheat, then after that, I mean, 50% is nothing to scoff at, people. I mean, it is a good number. It's a decent bit. It's the kind of damage that takes a good weapon and makes it a great weapon. But it can also make a great weapon even crazier. So just remember these kind of things, It's not like I sit here and keep my plasma incinerator at 50 and above. I let that sit in the background and kind of just let it be icing on the cake, you know? I don't sit here and just try to keep it completely cooled off at all times, but I don't exactly stop it from overheating because I'm going to get extra damage if I let it. So, like, who cares, right? I just don't want it to fully overheat because then we have a problem. But, we cross that bridge when we get there. It really doesn't matter until you're in that situation, right? So, who cares? Now, if you wanted to fully min-max it, have your plasma pistol also benefiting from your perks, the same as your heavy plasma incinerator, right? But when I first tried this loadout, I found that the double plasma, while effective, just wasn't the right feel for me. So I went ahead and switched over to the normal bolt pistol, and it started feeling a bit more correct in my head. It's just these many different things of like, I can't aim the plasma pistol as well as I can aim the bolt pistol. I feel like the plasma pistol takes more ammo to kill, like one fodder, like just one Hormigaunt. It takes a lot more if you don't just flat out headshot it, which I find harder to do with the plasma. Then the bolt pistol, you can just one tap it. Bink, done, move on. I value that heavily. So that's why I brought it in to this loadout here, and I found that it was probably the best choice I could make, but that's just because I don't care about min-maxing every little thing, Like, these small things like that don't matter. Who cares if my pistol isn't taking advantage of one of my perks, two of my perks? The weapon that I am maining, my main weapon, is doing that, so it doesn't matter if the secondary does, right? So think about these things whenever you're setting up perks, what weapons you're choosing, whatever. It's just good to think about these things while you're deciding your loadouts and whatnot, because, bolt pistol is a lot better at certain things, plasma pistol is good at other things, right? Plasma pistol hits harder, and it's got AoE. Bolt pistol is kind of just good for an all-around, like, quality of life kind of gun, I would say. Like, it just is good at crowd control while also being decent on ammo conservation. I don't know. It has all of the sauce that a weapon should have. For being a basic pistol, it's crazy how strong it actually can be. Plasma pistol, like I'm saying, it's just a little, like what? Like 10 times smaller than the heavy plasma incinerator, right? So it's good, it hits hard, and it charges up unbelievably fast. That's probably one of the best things about it, is how fast the charge up is. But I would say if you're gonna use both the plasma weapons in one kit, I will warn you that muscle memory will get weird. Because if you're getting used to one plasma weapon's charge rate, the other one might throw off your groove, right? The heavy one doesn't charge very quickly. It's not slow, but it's not as fast as the pistol. The pistol, I feel like I barely hold down the trigger, and it's just bam, instantly ready to go. She is there for me. Now the heavy plasma incinerator, it at least takes a couple seconds to warm up, but as soon as you start it, I feel like that thing can keep going. The heavy one can kind of consecutively charge up faster, until it just reaches like a cap, it feels like. While the plasma pistol is consistently fast in how it charges. So that may mess with muscle memory. I know it messes with mine whenever I was doing it, so that was another one of the factors that kind of helped me choose the bolt pistol over just double plasmas. Your mileage may vary, of course, people, so you do what you think is right in that regard, but just know that it can mess with it. The muscle memory is a real deal thing you don't want to fuck with, so, make that choice early on and stick with it. Because if you keep going back and forth, you're only going to confuse yourself more and more, and you don't want that in the middle of a fight. Trust me. Alright, so since we've talked about loadout preference, we've talked about number of bullets it takes for enemies, which ones you want to charge up on, what you should charge up, what you shouldn't charge, whatever. We've gone through a good chunk of the weapon, right? But how the hell do you play the damn thing? I know, we're already like 16 minutes in, and I'm just now talking about how to play the damn weapon. It's very contextual, but if you see that there's a huge crowd, one thing I will do is just charge it. Just go for a few shots, see what it does to the crowd. If there's no fodder, go for it. After that, you can just, you know, keep going with single shots on big guys after the charges, dodging at appropriate times. I mean, a lot of time, if it's kind of hectic, I'll charge one shot, do a dodge, and then try to charge another one. I mean, it can be dependent on if you're getting absolutely just bombarded by, I don't know, is it just unblockables? Are they parryables? Whatever. Just kind of try to read the room best you can and decide from there. A lot of the time, I will just stand my ground and throw out charge shots all day because who cares, right? But, you know, you can also sit there and kind of play it safe with only the single shots on stuff, hiding behind your little, our little shield. It's like what, our little Halo shield, whatever. I use the thing, but not as much as I should. Okay, I'll be honest. But for the most part, the weapon can just play itself when you get in the groove of things. Like, the thing is absolutely insane, people. It's one of the few weapons that I do genuinely think is like perfectly balanced. It is so much power within this package, but it is kept in line by, not the best ammo count. The fact that you can use it in multiple different ways with the single shots doing, 50 total fucking shots or just charge shots doing 10 total, like there's a lot of things to like about this weapon, but I could also see why people would not like this weapon for a lot of these same reasons. The charge up is not that good for some people, I imagine. I mean, early on, the thing is kind of abysmal to level up, but once you get it to like purple or something, it starts feeling just fine. I mean, I felt like in green it was okay, but anyway, there are gonna be times where like the charges just don't come out fast. They don't seem to go quickly, but because okay, I have a problem of like almost charging all the way and then still shooting just the single shot, not a fully charged one. So what I will do is I'll try to wait the extra full second, like half second, whatever. Really, you just need to be looking at the center crosshair, and whenever you see the charge indicators on the right going into the middle, fully like white walls on each side, that's how you know you're actually alright, because it goes from out to in. Basically, just wait for the blue to go from out to in on the crosshair, and the edges will be glowing white, like a bold white. That's whenever you're fully charged up and you're ready to go. My problem is I always hit it just before that's fully charged, so this is why I recommend that you don't bring both plasma weapons, because you will mess with your muscle memory really, really badly. And, it's good to catch that early rather than later. So make sure you decide for yourself, is this worth doing? Do I want to use this? Do I want to try it? Does it seem powerful? Whatever. It's up to you to decide that. But for me, this is one of the best weapons in the game, hands down.